Hula. Hi, back with another video. This is Finding with Grow from Within, and I welcome you back to the channel. And most definitely, just to kind of give you a short version of what I do here, I uh, I welcome you to listen to how I connect stories from the Bible, or most definitely my experiences that I've been through in my lifetime and connected with Bible scriptures and other writings of mysticism, and just kind of put it in layman's terms to try to get you guys to understand that uh, there's nothing really new under the sun, and everything makes sense when we tend to put it in layman's terms. But please understand that my truth is what I know, again, by experience. And so I'm not here as a specialist, a doctor, or anybody with a title at this point. But most definitely, I come with messages brought to me from within by way of the Holy Spirit. And as I continue to read different things are placed on my heart to, push the message out. And so, let's see here. In a world so busy, people do not take the time to go within. As again, I tell you guys in the beginning of my other videos, I myself have problems kind of avoiding the obstacles of everyday life to make sure I go within to get the most definitely the information that I'm needing to get out to you guys. Um, I don't care if I'm helping one person. That's good enough for me. But if it helps more than one, then most definitely all praises to the Most High. But again, if we do stand in doing well with the intentions of harming no one, then most definitely we can look forward to being blessed by the Most High Creator, and that's in the correct manner. So today, not today, but this video is titled. Let me kind of get my. Is that reflection is tearing me up? Y'all gonna get me. I know. One of these days it'll get better. And every time I say I'm gonna do something, it's like it doesn't happen. So I hate that. So I won't say. That's why I'm not gonna tell you. Uh, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that. Sometimes it works out that way, but for the most part, it seems like something is just right there preventing me from doing it. So I'm like, okay, just shut up and just do it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Okay. The title of this one is Your Beginning Ending, or Is Your Ending Beginning? Which side are you on? What's in your wallet? No, just kidding. That's a commercial, but listen, I getting into the video real quick. I now truly understand that to bring about a new beginning, something has to end, right? Something has to end in this place. Just like if we quit or stop a bad habit, we replace it with a good action. So let's talk a little bit about characters in the Bible. Let's see. We're gonna focus on Esau and Jacob, okay? Who even in the womb of their mother, they didn't get along. They was boxing inside. Two twins. Well, let me just say two babies. That's two twins don't make sense. So the two babies were in there boxing each other, just fighting, wrestling and the tussling. And their mom Rebecca was like, "What the hell? What is these babies in here doing?" Anyway, now Esau and Jacob again didn't get along in the womb. Esau was the first born, okay? But right after Jacob was born and was holding his brother's heel, okay? That has meaning to it. It's a symbolism there. So keep that in mind. He was holding his brother's heel. And so to me, I thought that was amazing. Number one, after researching and talking with other mothers who gave birth to twins, have said that their twins were spaced, at least about maybe 7 to 8 minutes. But also myself, as a mother of twins, my babies were 15 minutes apart, in which the second baby was going the opposite direction. I was like, girl, where you come? No, no, go, come on out of here. Come on out of here. It's eviction day. Not eviction, but viction. And so my babies were 15 minutes apart, right? So I found that to be rather odd that the other baby was holding the other baby's foot as the first one was, leaving the womb. And so, anyway, their mother, Rebecca, wrestled with carrying the twins because they constantly fought inside her. Now, Rebecca prayed and asked the Most High for relief, and what was happening to her, what was going on. So, the Most High gave her an answer and told her, look here, Rebecca, you got two nations in your womb, two manner of people that shall be separated from your generation. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the older shall serve the younger. This you can find right there in Genesis 25, 25th chapter, in the 21st verse, right? So the Most High explained to her, that's why you got all that rustling and tussling in your belly, because this is two whole nations. They in the belly fighting. And further down, it goes on to say when she was giving birth, again, we know the first baby was born, but the description of dude was like he had a reddish color and he was hairy all over, and so they named him Esau. Whereas we know the second baby was named Jacob, and so they didn't really give his description until later on. But it does say that he was a smooth skinned baby. So a smooth skinned baby means that he was us. He, Jacob was black. They mama and daddy was black. If you have a problem with it, do your research. I did mine. So again, I have said before, know who you are in the Bible. Okay. Now, anyway, it says Esau was a wild man of the field and he was a hunter. Okay. Whom his daddy Isaac loved him because when he would come back with the his stuff he hunted for, he cooked and was called venison. I don't even know what venison is, child. Anyway, he that's what he cooked. But his daddy, was like, "Hey, that stuff you make, bruh, that's fire. Go make me some of that." So, that's how, him and his daddy was cool like that. But Rebecca, their mom, was crazy about Jacob. That was her dude, right? Because he was an upright man which dwelled in tents. Dwelling in tents meant that man was a man of prayer. He was a man of God. But one day, Jacob cooked. He was in the house cooking him some stew. Back then, they called it pottage. Esau walked up to Jacob, hungry and tired, right? Because he had been out hunting and out just shooting the breeze with the fellas, and he was a ladies' man. Of course, we know that because I think he had 2 to 3 wives. Anyway, he was like, this is Esau walking into Jacob. He said, "Look, I pray you, man, with the same red pottage, for I am faint." So that's what he said in the Bible. Layman's terms. Hey, bruh, let me hook me up with a bowl of that. Man, I'm hungry as you know. I'm hungry. Dude, man, I kill for a bowl of this. Hey, I even sell you my birthright, my nigga. That's what he basically, I mean, this is layman's terms. So uh Esau was named Edom, okay? Because of this, he was Edom. He was called Edom. He's the forefather of Edom. Have you heard the people of called Edomites? Well, Edomites are of Edom. Who is Edom? Who's Edom's forefather? Esau. Know who you are in the Bible. Who is Esau? That's who we call modern day white people. Anywho, Jacob responded, "Look, man," he said, "I'll give you, I'll give you some soup, but sell me your birthright this day, today. Give it to me." Esau was like, "Man, behold, even at this point, man, I'm about to die. Just give me the food. What profit shall this birthright be to me right now? And I'm hungry, about to pass out from hunger, and you tripping on some birthright. Man, take this birthright." I'm just putting it in layman's terms, but you can always go and read it there in Genesis. So he sold his birthright to Jacob for the food. Then Jacob had also made some bread, and it says with a pot of lentils. We know them as beans, whatever. So Esau did eat and he drank, and then he rose up and went his way. Now, it says Esau despised his birthright. What? He despised his birthright. Hmm. Obviously, because he sold it for some food. Okay. Now, as life kind of went on, they got older and stuff. And let's see, it says Esau was 40 years old when he took two wives from another nation. Back then, that was a forbiddance for you to take a strange woman from a different nation. It's in the Bible. Read it. Anyway, it says most definitely Esau was a grief of mind toward his mama and daddy, toward Isaac and Rebekah. A grief of mind means that he was disrespectful. He did what he wanted to. He was just out of hand. Okay. Now remember in the beginning that the Most High God told Rebekah, "Look, Rebekah, the eldest will serve the younger." And their mother, remembering that, you know, she kept that in mind. She kept that on her heart now, because it was time for them to, receive their blessings. Because their dad Isaac uh, was feeling he knew his time was coming to go ahead and pass over, to transition over to the forefathers and everything. So it says that Genesis chapter 27, Isaac speaking, here he is. "Behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. So now therefore now therefore take, I pray you, take your weapons and your quiver and your bow and go out to the field and take me some venison and make me some of that savory meat you normally do that I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, and then my soul can bless you, before I go ahead and pass over." But his wife Rebecca heard, you know, she heard her husband Isaac and her son Esau talking. Jacob wasn't even there. So Rebecca overheard and she got busy. She got on it. She called Jacob. "Look, Jacob, it's going down. Your daddy already told your brother, to go out there and hunt for some food to get it together. That stuff he like. Don't even trip. I'ma go ahead and cook it for you. I got your back. You just go out to the to our actual uh I think it's their little barn or whatever, and get a little young goat or something like that." So uh yeah, she said go out and get a kid goat from the personal flock. Okay. And as Esau was out hunting, Mind you, Esau being a hairy man with a wild smell, Rebecca got some of Esau's clothes and used some of the goat skin to mimic Esau's hairy arms and his neck. She cut that and put pieces of it around Jacob's neck, and then she laid some on his arm. Then Rebecca had found some of Esau's clothes laying around the house and put it on Jacob so that he would have Esau's stench because he was a wild man, as is said in the Bible here. But he went ahead and brought the food, and Rebecca actually served the food, but Isaac was like, "How did you make this so fast?" So this is Jacob's response. He said, Yahuwah Eloheka brought it to me. So Yahuwah Eloheka, I think, is the description of God will provide, if I'm not mistaken. But it's similar to that. Anyway, Isaac, was still kind of like iffy, like, nah, I don't think you caught that fast. Something's not right. So he was like, hmm, come closer. Cause see, Isaac's sight was bad. He was blind basically. He couldn't see them well. He couldn't see them. Now, he was like, come closer, man. So he took his hand and touched them and felt them. He was like, okay, you feel hairy like Esau. Then he took a smell test and was like, all right, dang, you smell like him. But he was like, but your voice don't really sound like my dude Esau. You sound like my son Jacob. But nevertheless, I mean, it still worked out, and he went ahead and ate the food that was prepared by his mother. Uh, and at that time, he said, you know what? That food was tight. It was good. I'm all good. I'm ready to go ahead and bless you, so I can go ahead and pass over. And so we're at Genesis 27:28. Let me grab that real quick. Genesis 27:28. And so right there he goes, uh yeah, he said, therefore, Elohim, give you of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brethren. Wait, is this the right one? Let people serve you and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brethren and let your mother's sons bow down to you. Okay, I see what's happening here. So even his brothers, which are basically other nations. Okay, if y'all see that, that's what that means. Let your brother's son, your mother's sons bow down to you. And it says further on, cursed be everyone that curses you, and blessed be he that blesses you. Okay. So he went ahead and blessed him. And it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of the blessing, Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father. He had to get low, basically. It was time to take off because they knew Esau, him being a wild man, he was hard headed, disrespectful. He didn't really uh, He wasn't really a man of God at all, from what I hear, according to the Bible. And he just wanted his way. His way is his way. And they knew he was violent. So most definitely he went ahead and took off. And so as he did so, his brother Esau came in from his hunting, and this is down in the 31st verse. And so he said, "Look, Daddy, I got your stuff. I'm going to make your food and make your savory meat, and let my father rise and eat of his son's venison, that your soul may bless me." Right? So Isaac was like, "Well, who are you, boy? I just blessed you. Stop tripping. What the?" And he said, "No, I just got back, Daddy, from getting the venison that you told me to go hunt for." So Isaac was like, wow. So, and it actually says in verse 33 that Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, "Who?" He said, "Well, where is he that has taken venison and brought it to me already, that I ate already and and blessed him before you came in?" Child, when Esau heard that in verse 34, he cried with a great, exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, "Bless me, even me also, O my father." And he said, "Your brother came in, man, with subtlety. I can't pronounce that. Subtlety? Yeah, subtlety. And has taken away your blessing." Not necessarily. See, this is the thing. One would say, whereas I believed when I was younger, and I was like, damn, they just lied. And I was like, do God know they lied? Rebecca and Jacob, right? As I really get the understanding, it's not a lie, because this is what's happening. Esau sold his birthright. 22:22 on the counter. He sold it. He sold his birthright. And then he thought later he was going to come back and be smooth and still get his birthright and still got claims over his birthright, even though he made a deal and a verbal contract with his brother and said, "I sold it to you." The Most High always got watchers. Your watchers, which is our angels, our guardian angels, always keep an eye on things. So I don't care what kind of contract we make with anybody. If you stated you was going to do something, you better fulfill that contract, because there's consequences if you don't. It has to be fulfilled. Rebecca was allowed to do her thing so Jacob could receive what was his at that point, which was the birthright of their daddy. So it passed down to his bloodline, the birthright of blessings. Esau thought he was slick. He didn't get away with trying to just get the food of Jacob, because he was already a pushover brother anyway, since he was the oldest. But remember, as they were born, Jacob held his heel. He grabbed onto his heel. And uh, that also symbolized that the uh, let me see, let me say it right. The ending of Esau is the beginning of Jacob. That's what that symbolizes. That hand on that foot, the end of Esau, that's the first nation. But it is the beginning of Jacob, his brother. Y'all get it? Oh no, I didn't know my other. So let me get the last piece of this, because y'all know I write my stuff down and I keep it for my records. And it's my hard copies. Give me a minute. Let me see. Yeah. Thank you for waiting. So, um, long story short, it still came out to be the way the Most High meant it to be. Things happen for a reason, and the Most High will not be mocked. So, most definitely, Rebecca was there to assure that the man of God received the birthright because it was sold to him anyway, as Esau despised his birthright. Remember? But my personal assumption is that uh, it just seems like Papa Isaac was not aware of his eldest son's deal again of selling his birthright, to the youngest. And that the Most High already told Rebecca that this would be the case. So, as Esau attempted to retrieve his birthright anyway, divine timing came through. So, I tell this story to make sense of scripture, second Esdras, and Esdras can be found in the Apocrypha. That's other writings of the Bible, the Most High, and a lot of scriptures is placed in different books that has the title that we probably would never think that we would be reading from. This is a trick to divert you from receiving the information. But in these days, the Most High is returning knowledge to his babies for those who have ears to hear and eyes to see. Now, second Esdras, the sixth chapter and the ninth verse, and that's where I was telling you earlier. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And it's right there. You can simply Google second Esdras, Esdras, Esdras. And again, that was second Esdras, sixth chapter and ninth verse. It is also said, in this day, the hostility of the two nations are still going on in some way, some shape, fashion, or form. And this is true. And again, the last will be first, and the first shall be last. That's Matthew 20 and 16. So I hope you guys, can receive what I'm trying to convey to you guys and realize that we're not just existing and floating. There are some things that we need to fulfill, and it's up to us to really kind of search and find out how we play a part, in the fulfilling of prophecy, as we are, um, living in these days of revelation. So I'm gonna end it there, and I'll come back with another video, or should I not just say it and just do it? I'm gonna just do it. I'm not gonna say it again. And so, subscribe, and share if you guys um, enjoyed this piece. And uh, I love you all. And hopefully, we can snatch some of our peoples uh, from the irons of fire, because the Most High does not wish for not one to perish. So it's up to us to try to reach our hands down to pull somebody up. When we find a way out that hole, uh, you know, then I'm doing what I can to reach somebody. Because physically, no, I'm not doing it. Physically, I don't have that strength. No thanks. But I have my ways of doing that, and that's through my message. And then it's up to that person to put that work in, because it's up to us to save ourselves, if that makes sense. Feel me? Got it? Great. Good. Okay. Love you guys. Deuces.